All right, this review is for Gladiator. That's starring Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix, and it was directed by Ridley Scott. Great movie. I'll give Gladiator a 10 out of 10. So, if you aren't familiar with the story, the plot of Gladiator, Russell Crowe plays General Maximus. He's the general of the Roman Legion, and they they've just won um, a decisive battle, and Caesar tells Maximus, he says, "I'm old, and I don't want my son Commodus, who's played by Joaquin Phoenix. I don't want Commodus to take over Rome because he's not a good guy. He's corrupt, he's petulant, he's arrogant, he's not a good leader. Not like you, Maximus. Your troops love you, you're a good man, and I want you to take over Rome." Maximus doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to be a ruler, I should say. He just wants to go back home to his family, to his wife, to his son, to his farm. Caesar, Marcus Aurelius, he says, "Well, sleep on it, because I want you to be the next Caesar. In the meantime, I'll break the news to Commodus myself." Well, Caesar tells Commodus that he is passing the empire ship, the empire, to Maximus instead of to his own son, Commodus. Well, Commodus, Joaquin Phoenix, he doesn't take that news too well, and he ends up killing his father. When he asks Maximus, Russell Crowe, for his loyalty, well, Russell Crowe knows that it was no accident. It wasn't just, old age that suddenly got to Caesar. No, he knows that Commodus killed him. So he turns his back on Commodus, pretty much saying, "No, I'm not going to follow you, and I don't really respect you," in so many words. And, well, Commodus doesn't take that too well. And he orders the troops, who were formerly Maximus's troops. They loved him. He was a great general. He was a great leader. But when the emperor tells you to do something, you do it. So they are a group of soldiers are sent to arrest Maximus and kill him. Well, but then they make the mistake of telling him, "Oh, by the way, we're going to kill your wife and your son too. So don't worry, you'll see them soon in Elysium." So Maximus decides that can't let that happen. So he manages to escape being killed, takes some wounds. He does get cut up a little bit, but he ends up killing all the troops that were going to execute him. And he rides like hell to get to his family in time before the group of Romans can kill them. But while he's riding, his wounds do take a toll. I don't know if he's bleeding out or if it's blood poisoning, whatever the case. By the time he gets to his farm, he's barely holding on. He's just, you can tell he's messed up. And unfortunately, the soldiers did get to the farm before Maximus did. They killed his wife, they killed his son, they burned his whole farm. So Maximus gets there and sees that he has nothing left to live for, and he's pretty much about to die from his wounds anyways. Just kind of passes out right there. Kind of looking forward to dying soon anyways, so that he can be with his family again. But if that's how it happened, we wouldn't have a movie. So, a group of slavers comes, they find him, they pick him up, they sell him to another slaver who runs his slaves as gladiators in some arenas. They're somewhere, some desert back, just wherever, I don't know where it's at. I would say backwoods, but they're in the desert, so it's not really the woods. At first when he's brought into the to those games to that small arena, he could care less. He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't have anything to prove. He doesn't care if he lives or dies. So he is pretty much not even going to bother fighting. But at the same time, there are other slaves, other gladiators in his group, and he is, of course, he was the general of the entire Roman legion. He's a proven leader, strategist, warrior, and so while he doesn't really care for his own life, he does realize, well, I have a group of men that I can at least lend my expertise to help them stay alive. And in doing so, he earns their trust, their respect. They see that he knows what he's talking about, and he becomes the gladiators' leader. Not the Colosseum. The Colosseum in Rome has been closed for a while. Marcus Aurelius, he wasn't into that sort of thing for his people. He didn't believe in just mindless killing for killing's sake, for entertainment. So he didn't have the Colosseum open. Commodus, on the other hand, he knows that Rome doesn't love him like they do Marcus Aurelius, or like they did. So Commodus, a wise politician, realizes, well, if I want Rome to love me and be pliable under my rule, I'm going to reopen the Colosseum and I'm going to start the games again. So, after doing those small battles in the smaller arena out in the desert, the gladiator slaver guy, his name is Proximo, he gets word that the Colosseum is reopening in Rome, and that's good news for him because, well, he's got a bunch of gladiators that he's ready to put out there. And of course, he stands to make a lot more money in Rome in the Colosseum than just some back-ass desert arena. Maximus goes along with it. He's going to Rome, which is going to put him that much closer to Commodus so that he can get his revenge. And so the rest of the movie, the bulk of the movie, is there in the Colosseum in Rome. Different battles. All the battle fighting choreography, really good. Everything looks great. Maximus has a helmet on, by the way. He made sure to put a helmet on that kind of covers his face so that he wouldn't be recognized by Caesar, by Commodus. The first battle in the Colosseum, Maximus and all his buddies, all his fellow gladiators, they completely, they were supposed to just pretty much be cannon fodder for the real gladiators. And it was actually like a historical reenactment, but Maximus and his crew managed to take out those bad guys and completely messed up the historical reenactment. Commodus is up there. Commodus, the new Caesar, he's up there. He's watching, and he's pretty impressed with the Spaniard. They call Gladiator. They call him Gladiator, and Gladiator is also known as the Spaniard. Nobody else knows that it's Maximus yet. But when Commodus goes out there to give his congratulations to the leader of the gladiators, of course he's flanked by all his troops, so there's not really any danger of the gladiators attacking him. But he says, "Gladiator, you've impressed me. Remove your helmet. Let me see your face." And Maximus, no. He turns his back on Commodus, which you don't do that. They even said, don't turn your back on Caesar. Well, he turned his back on Caesar. That would be the second time now. Remember, the first time was when they were still in Germania after that battle. And Commodus had just killed his father and just become Caesar and said, "Give me your hand, show me your loyalty." And Maximus said no, turned his back on him. That was the first time. That's what got his family killed, because he wasn't immediately loyal. Anyway, now they're in the Colosseum. Commodus says, "Let me see your face, take off your mask." Maximus pretty much says, "Fuck it," turns his back on him to walk away. Commodus doesn't like that. He said, "You better turn around, remove your mask. Tell me who you are." So Maximus takes off his mask, and Russell Crowe is just such a great actor in this. He's got, oh man, he really says, "Maximus, general of the Roman legion, husband to a slaughtered wife, father to a slaughtered son, and I will have my revenge in this life or the next." So he's telling Commodus, "I'm coming for your ass. Slave, gladiator or not, you being the emperor or not, I'm coming for you." So the rest of the time, it's just battles, and then in between the battles, it's the talking. Everybody's talking back. Eventually, in Commodus's arrogance, he decides that he is going to personally fight Maximus in the Colosseum. But before he does it, he pays Maximus a visit, stabs him, pretty much messes him up before the fight, before the Colosseum battle has even begun, because he's a cheater. Maximus is a driven man, and he does kill Commodus. But he dies also from his wounds. And then he goes to Elysium to be with his family again. Excellent movie. Excellent movie. Like I said, 10 out of 10. It's not a rating that I would give most movies. These first handful of reviews that you're going to see, I'm just going to kind of keep doing all my most favorite movies, and the DVDs that I have here. I'm pretty picky about what I keep in my own selection. A little bit of a movie snob. But anyway, I digress. I think pretty much anybody that watches Gladiator they're going to enjoy watching the movie. Again, everything is well done. Great acting, great actors, great direction from Ridley Scott. Everything looks gorgeous. Cinematography looks good. Of course, all the set pieces, everything looks amazing. So, yeah, I'll give that a 10 out of 10, because even if you don't like drama, I can pretty much guarantee you watch Gladiator, you're going to enjoy it. It's a good movie. I've seen it plenty of times over the years. So, watch Gladiator. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.